and we are back on the 0 hour. You know, that wasn't all the news we had this week. We also had another big development in the political world. Mitt Romney tells us he is not going to be running for president again, which brings back all sorts of memories. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Sure, we remember you, Mitt. We remember all the good times. We remember first hearing about you during the Olympics. We remember when you became governor of Massachusetts. We remember you when you ran the first time. We remember you when you ran the second time. We remember all the wonderful things you had to say, things that made us smile, things that made us think, things that made us laugh. I'm thinking of a lot of those statements right now, and I just wish I could hear them one more time.
Corporations are people, my friend. We can raise taxes on, of course they are. Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people.
One is don't try and stop the foreclosure process. Let it run its course and hit the bottom, allow investors to buy homes, put renters in them, fix the homes up, and let it turn around and come back up.
I like being able to fire people who provide services to me. I'm not concerned about the very poor. We have a safety net there. If it needs a repair, I'll fix it. And crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Yes, that was the Mitt we knew. That was the Mitt we loved. That was the Mitt we will not apparently have as a candidate again. But of course, that's not all Mitt had to say. Back in 2012, there was this secret recording which was captured at a dinner with wealthy fundraisers.
There are 47% of the people who will vote for the president no matter what. All right, there are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they are victims, who believe that government has a responsibility to care for them, who believe that they're entitled to health care, to food, to housing, to you name it. But it's an entitlement, and government should give it to them. And they will vote for this president no matter what.
You know what my favorite part about this clip is, and what makes me think of the Mitt we all knew, was the fact that he's talking about how these people think they're entitled to housing as opposed to sleeping on the street, entitled to food as opposed to starving. What I love about this tape is the fact that he's saying those things to a bunch of billionaire donors, and you can hear the sound of the wine being poured. You can hear the sound of the food being served onto their plates. Everything about it tells us about the Mitt we knew, the Mitt we loved, the Mitt that won't be running for president anymore because he says, he wants to make it, he doesn't want to stand in the way. I'm not organizing a PAC, says Mitt. I'm not taking donations. I'm not hiring a campaign team. And, he said when they asked him if he was going to run again, he said, he really is not doing anything about that. And he thinks that seems very unlikely. So it just reminds me also of the song we chose as the Mitt Romney theme song during the 2012 election.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody.
I mean, there was Mitt. Obamacare is Romney care, but when it became Obamacare, he was against it. There was Mitt with his elevator full of cars and his binders full of women and his heart full of ambition, I guess, really convinced that he was going to be the guy to speak to the American people. There was the Mitt that we're not going to see because he tells us he's not running anymore. So that makes you wonder, wow, are we going to have an election where the Democrats have already decided who their candidate is, and the wealthy donors have they asked Mitt to step aside? Is Jeb Bush now the anointed one so that Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and Rand Paul, is that all just going through the motions? Have the big party people already decided who the candidates are going to be? And do the people have no say in this anymore? Does that mean there's not even the chance of a draft Mitt movement? You know, I guess it's true that the people weren't into Mitt Romney all that much, and I guess that's the reason that he decided not to run. I guess that's the reason why he told all the wealthy people on this Friday morning donor call that, quote, it's best to give other leaders in the party the opportunity to become the nominees. So, look, you know, we're just going to have to do without what might have been. We're just going to have to say, Mitt, we hardly knew you, but we have to accept you because when you were asked on that phone call, and again, to repeat, you were asked on the phone call, Mitt Romney, is there any chance you'll change your mind? You said it clearly. You said it firmly. You said it in the unequivocal, ethical, conscientious Mitt we've come to know and love. You said clearly when asked, could you change your mind? That seems unlikely. And that means that the nation is going to, wait a minute, that seems unlikely? You didn't say no? Mitt Romney, you didn't say there's no chance I could change my mind? Mitt Romney, who changed his mind on abortion. Mitt Romney, who changed his mind on Obamacare and Romney Care. Mitt Romney, who's changed his mind on so many different issues, won't even say unequivocally that he won't run for president. Get out of here. That seems unlikely. Mitt, we're not even done with you that yet. And I was having all these sentimental feelings about you for nothing. Forget about it. Pete, play the Nowhere Man song. I'm done with this guy. I don't believe anything he says. So as we'll play you out with Nowhere Man, listen to me. Mitt Romney, I don't think he's running, but either way, don't forget. I'm Richard RJ Eskow, and this is The Zero Hour.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have